All right, welcome back to another episode of StichMethod. Today we're going to be doing an in the mind of / stealing and simplifying Eric Clapton's version of Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Before we begin, make sure you do click that subscribe button and share this video with anyone who you think will enjoy it. Let's get right down to it. This song was originally written by Jimmy Cox and has been covered and played by hundreds of great musicians. I happen to like Eric Clapton's version on it on the Unplugged album, and also one of my students, John, brought it to my attention. I figured, yeah, this is really good. Let's bring it to the masses. So what Eric Clapton does in the solo, you can learn, and then you can also apply it to like any version. His soloing techniques and mindset is really tasty on this, so we're going to go over it bit by bit. And before we do that, let's just talk about the chord progression. The chord progression is really unique. Has a lot of seventh chords. You can check out a video here about seventh chords I'm going to post, and a lot of movement. And so let's just check this out so we understand what we're dealing with. We have C, E7, A7. D minor, A, D minor, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, C, A7, D7, G7, and over again. Now, when you listen to the version, Clapton takes one solo, even though there's about two sections of solo. The second take is done by, I believe, the piano player, but if you're playing by yourself with a musician, you get to take this solo twice. All right, so how does Clapton handle this? Well, when you watch the version, you can see that his mindset kind of divides these sections, these chords into sectional chunks. So we're going to take it one chunk at a time. The first chunk we're going to talk about is the C, E7, A7 part. Now, his scale of choice over this section is the C major pentatonic. Well, why? That's a good question. Well, it starts on a C, so that's a good choice. We have an E7 and an A. An E and an A are also in the C major pentatonic. Now, you can look at it like an A minor pentatonic, because a C major pentatonic and an A minor pentatonic are the exact same thing. Here's an A minor pentatonic. But if you've seen my In the Mind of Clapton, he kind of likes to play this kind of thing. And so he starts with this guy, but starting on the 3rd fret. You can say it's A minor, but C major pentatonic. And so that's his first tool. Now, the C major pentatonic works on the C chord, of course. It's going to work on the E7 because there's an E in there, there's a G in there, which gives you that blues sound. Just to let you know, the minor third, which is a G on top of the E7 chord, is going to sound great. And so for the C chord, for the C chord, the E7, and the A7, he's using a C major pentatonic / A minor pentatonic. Same thing. And of course, on top of the A7, an A minor pentatonic is going to sound bluesy. That's my blues trick number 1 video. And so he sees this movement, the C, the E7, and the A7, all belonging to the C major pentatonic. Now I have a backing track loaded up here, and I'm going to play just a C major pentatonic on top of it. I'm going to show it to you, and then we're going to add some flavor. Let's see. There it was. Wow, I didn't feel like I clicked that. That was it. Let me do it one more time. C major pentatonic. All right. And so you can hear that it works, but he does something really unique here. And it shows you that he's really paying attention to each chord. Of course, on the C, he's starting on the C note. Now, on the E, he's not really hitting the E. He's trusting the fact that this major pentatonic can kind of ride through the E, and he can kind of just go where he wants to go. But when he gets to the A, he does something quite unique. He does this. Well, what is that? Well, in my blues trick number 1 video or 2 video, I talk about, if you look at the A chord or look at an A7, look at that middle finger. It is not in the A minor / C major pentatonic. It is not. What he does is he starts on the minor third of the A, hammers onto the major third, there it is in the chord, and brings it home to the 1. This is a standard blues move. He kind of tips his hat to the A, says, hey A, I know I'm on you, so I'm going to kind of like bond with you for a second just by bringing in your major third. And again, look, it's in the chord. And it comes home to the root note. Well, what can you do? You can do that move, or we can steal and say, well, can't we go to this root note up here? This is the minor third, major third, and then home to the high E. Sorry, the A on the high E string. So it's your choice. So now let's listen to see. Let's listen to see if you can hear that move on the A chord. There was a double pounce, right? And so for this section, the C, the E7, and the A7, he's totally on it with the C major pentatonic / A minor pentatonic, whatever is easier for your mind. And he's tipping his hat to the the A7 chord by bringing in the major third of the chord itself and coming home to a 1. The second movement now, we have a D minor for 2 beats, an A for 2 beats, and back to a D minor for 4 beats. Well, here he does something really cool and quite Clapton-esque. On top of this D minor progression, or this cluster of D minor, A to D minor, he's going to be using just a D minor pentatonic. Now, we can do it many different ways. You can do what we call the form 4 right here, which is 5-8, 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 6-8, 5-8, and that's good enough. You can also hear him kind of playing this and kind of doing the Clapton pentatonic starting on the D here. Okay, you start here. And so you're going to see these little moves, but nonetheless a D minor pentatonic. But as you know, that's not the only story. Let me play the first part, C, E, and A, into the D minor part with just the D minor pentatonic, and let's see if that kind of blankets everything. So here's the first cluster with the C. With the A, and here's the D minor part. Fine, it works fine. So the second cluster, the D minor, A, and D minor, he uses a D minor pentatonic. But again, with this A chord, he has the D minor for 2 beats to an A. Well, what does he do? Let's look at that A chord. Specifically, let's look at the B string, okay? That 5th fret. That note ain't in the D minor pentatonic. Okay, it's not this note. This is in the A. Sorry. This note, but this note's in the pentatonic. So what does he do? Well, right when the A hits, he does this Clapton trill. He does it in Layla as well. He hits this note, which is an E. It happens to be a chord tone of the A. And he kind of trills up to this note, which is in the D minor pentatonic. And then continues on the D minor pentatonic. Now let's listen for it. Here we go. There it was. All right, so I hope you're enjoying this. This is moving really fast. So we have our first cluster of chords uses a C major / A minor pentatonic, and he kind of puts in the A major chord tone, A major third to the root. The second cluster of chords, the D minor, A, D minor, uses a D minor pentatonic, and he also kind of tips his hat to the A, brings in an A chord tone right on that A change, and then goes right back into the D minor pentatonic. And then what happens next? Well, we have an F chord, and then to an F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And if you just take an F chord and put your pinky on the 4th fret of, cover up this note, put your pinky on the 4th fret of D, you get this F sharp diminished triad. I hate that word. And you have your F into the F sharp diminish. And this is just a movement. You know, when you find these diminished chords or minor 7 flat 5s, they're usually on a movement piece. And here it is, F to the diminish. And this is our little cluster. And then it's going to go to a C chord. But let's talk about what he does on this F, because it's really cool. Now, he does something in his performance that sets him up for the next piece. What do I mean? Well, this F is an F major chord, so he goes for an F major pentatonic. Now, don't be too worried. He plays it looking like a D minor pentatonic, on the 10th fret. Just a regular form 1. Remember, this is your major root note, so this is an F major pentatonic, or a D minor pentatonic, however you want to think of it. Just a form 1 pentatonic on the 10th fret. This is both a D minor and an F major pentatonic. On the F, you're going to come in on this F major pentatonic, D minor pentatonic. And then on the F sharp, this is cool, on the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. This is really cool, and I'm not going to throw a lot of theory on your head, okay? You're looking for the note E flat. Let me explain. All right, there it is there, the 13th fret of the D. E flat, also 1 fret below the E. And so if you're playing a pentatonic, sorry, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one there. Why the E flat? Well, they're going from an F to an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and to make the longest story short, when you put the E flat on top of this chord, it creates a full diminished moment, and it's going to be a chord of a 1, a flat 3, a flat 5, and a double flat 7. I know, don't throw up, don't worry about this. All you need to know is on the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, just touch an E flat for a second and it's going to sound so good. So let me see if I can show you this. Again, on the F, just an F major pentatonic. When it changes to the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, hit that note, come back to the F sharp, come back to the F major / D minor pentatonic. Let's see if we can do this whole thing. Heard it? So I did a little D minor / F major pentatonic, and then when the F sharp hit, I put this E flat in there. This creates a pure diminished moment, a little like spicy sauce, and you're gonna do it too, okay? And that takes us, let's see, that's our third cluster. First cluster, C, E, and A. Second cluster, D minor, A, and D. Third cluster, F to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. The fourth cluster is the C to the A7. Now this is a cool move, and I hope you enjoy this. You can hear him clearly on his performance play this piece. And so we are going to steal that, because that is tasty. Now, well, what is that? Well, if I make a C chord here on the 8th fret, an E-shaped bar chord, according to the Cage chord system video linked above, right? All right, these two notes, these are in the chords, the G string and the B string, 9th fret, 8th fret. This is piece of your C chord. It's going to an A chord, which is 3 frets down. All right, you're starting on the C, going to a B, B flat, A. And in that moment, it really connects the C chord to the A chord with a very nice flow. Now, you can do this in other places. You really can. And if you want to learn how to do this in other places, you can check out my Patreon account where I'll show you how to do this stuff all over the neck with all these ideas in different places. And you can practice along. Enough about that. Let's keep going. So, on that C, right, we're going to try and do that move. Let's take a breath. Yes, there'll be a chart. There will definitely be a chart. And you can follow along on the chart. And again, if you're a member of Patreon for the practice sessions and bonus lessons, the chart is included. And so let's see if I can do everything from memory. I'm going to do it right now in front of you. The first part is a C major pentatonic, tipping the hat to the A with the major third. The second chunk of the D minor, A, D minor is a D minor pentatonic. When we hit the A, we kind of hit a little Clapton, little trill there. Okay, the F chord, play an F major pentatonic, the F sharp minor 7, touch that E flat right out of that pentatonic, and then the C to the A, come in with these 2 double stops. These are double stops, by the way. Let's see if we can get there. I think we can. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're getting there. Now we don't have a lot to do. You can hear it coming, right? And then after that C to A7 chord, we only have 2 chords left. The first chord is a D7. And what does Clapton do? Well, Clapton here does a really cool thing with these sliding sixths. Video linked above. Sliding sixths are nothing more than chord tones or movement in between chord tones. And so here you can see him do this. Okay, and this here. Here's a D7, and then this here is a D7 chord tone, And here, he takes it to a D6 chord tone, but the idea is, I want to explain this, is you can use this like that if you want to, but if you want to steal and simplify, then you can just use any D7 chord tone. So let me show you the ones I'm going to use just so you can see it work. Well, here's a D7 here, so I'm going to use 2 and 2. Here's a D7 here, okay? And if you look, this is 5th fret on the G string and 5th fret on the high E, same strings. If I have enough time, I can make it to this D7. Now this is a D7 shape here. 7th fret of the G, 8th fret of the high E. Excuse me, if I have enough time, I can get there. All right, I can put all those little tiny double stops, or actually sliding sixths in. Let's see if I can make it up to that moment. This is so much fun. Let's see. I stayed tasty and I just did this D7 piece into this D7 piece. All on the chart for you. And the last moment, now the last moment here is really cool. What Eric Clapton does in the Unplugged performance is a smooth move. And if you're watching this channel, you probably know I'm a big fan of Jerry Garcia. And I call this a Jerry Garcia move. I'm not saying that Jerry Garcia made this move. I just call it a typical Jerry Garcia move. Check this out. On the G, he finds, here's a G chord, okay? 12th fret, D, G, B, and 15th fret, the high E. This note here on the 12th fret is the major third. This note here on the 15th fret is the 5th, okay? So you have the 3rd and the 5th, and he just climbs chromatically from the 3rd to the 4, to the flat 5, to the 5. Now he keeps it there. Kind of gives a little twang, and ends back on the 5. But now we're going to steal, simplify, and maybe make it a little bit more complex. I have a G here, just to show you. You can follow along again. It'll all be on the chart. You can practice this on Patreon, like I said. Here is a B. Okay, this is the major third. Same thing. 3, 4, flat 5, 5. And you can hear him do this before the solo begins again. So let me just show you the Clapton move first and show you how I would enhance it. Not saying in any way that Clapton's playing needs enhancing. It's just this is how I would enhance it if I wanted to. Well, listen for this move. So that's what Clapton would do. What would I do? Well, I would do something that Jerry Garcia would do. Don't get upset. Is same thing. And then in this pentatonic, look at this G major or E minor pentatonic, however you want to see it. You're going like this. Grab this guy, the 14th fret of the G string, and you're going to bend this up. This is a major second. And then back home. A little bit of a country feel. If you're up here on the 8th fret, this is a G here. So let's see if we can throw that in. That's my only time I'm going to enhance something, because this is about stealing and simplifying. Here we go. There it is. All right, so let's recap here. I hope this isn't too crazy. Hope I'm not going too fast. But that is the solo section. That's the chord progression. So to recap, I know you can do this. Keep it simple at first. The first part is a C major pentatonic. Any C major pentatonic you want. If you're not familiar with major pentatonics, just search StichMethod major pentatonics. They'll come up and I'll hopefully make sense of them for you. The second part is a D minor pentatonic, and you're going to be putting in a little bit of a, that A chord tone trill, and then rock them with the D minor pentatonic. For the F and the F sharp minor 755, you're just gonna stay in a D minor pentatonic if you want to, and on that F sharp minor 755, bring in that E flat if you can. Then on the C chord to the A chord, use the little. Again, I'll show you some different ways to do it in the practice videos on Patreon. And also, then you get the D chord, a D7, any D7 sliding 6 you can see. Whatever you can see. And then for the G7, really just a major third 4, flat 5, 5. And if you want to throw in the major second bend to the third, and back home. And so I'm going to play myself out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Leave comments below if it worked for you. Load the song up. You can literally play with Clapton if you watch this performance. It's in the same key. It's not too fast, not too slow. And it's enjoyable. So thank you so much for being here. And make sure, well, I'll see you on Thursday with another Guitar Fundamentals video. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.